Ms. Katie Prudhomme, would you please lead us in the pledge? Roll call. Since Mr. Colley is not here, Mr. Gisclair will do roll call for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Seat A, Chucky Sheremy.
Here.
Seat B, Johnny Ordorn, absent. Seat C, Jimmy Lafourche.
Here.
Seat D, Rodney Gisclair, here. Seat E, Ted Savoy.
Here.
Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Here.
Seat G, John Mellison.
Here.
Seat H, Mike Colley.
Hang on. Let me see. He might have snuck in.
Nope, he didn't make
You
it.
know he hates to miss a meeting. He's not here,
absent.
Mr. Gisclair.
Okay. Seat I, Chris Colley.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a four.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gisclair. Next, we have appointment to fill vacancy in seat B.
Okay.
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Mr. Thomas Joseph Peter III to seat B.
All right, I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
All right, need a roll call vote?
Yep.
Nobody else has any nominations?
So we need to move. If there's no nominations, I'd like to move.
There's no motions necessary.
There's no motions.
Have any motions, just if you're ready to close nominations, then we'll get a roll call.
Call for
All right.
nominations two more
To
times.
close motions, we need a roll call vote.
All right. Seat A, Chucky Sheremy.
Yes.
We need to,
You
Tom
need to
Pete.
say his name.
Tom Pete.
Ms. Tom Pete III.
Seat B, Johnny Ordorn,
He's-
absent.
Yeah, he has resigned.
He has
He has
resigned.
resigned, okay. Seat C, Jimmy Lafourche.
Here.
You gotta sit, Tom.
Tom Pete.
Seat D, Rodney Gisclair, Tom Pete. Seat E, Ted Savoy.
Tom P.
Seat F, Larry Griffin.
You have been nominated Tom Peter.
Seat G, John Mellison.
Thomas Joseph Pete III.
Seat H, Mike Colley, absent. Seat I, Chris Colley.
Thomas Joseph Pete III.
Mr. President, we have, are you pretty
All
much
right,
unanimous?
Mr.
of
Thomas
the people
Pete,
here?
congratulations, you've been nominated. Will you come up and please get sworn in? Hope you can come by him, Hope.
Lee's gonna
You can
take pictures.
Stand by him, Hope.
I state your name.
Thomas J. Peter III,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me,
all the duties incumbent upon me,
state the position, member,
member of the Port Commission,
Division B, according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we'll have, thank you,
Take
Mr.
him,
Tom.
take
You
your
can,
seat,
you
take
can
your
have
seat.
your seat.
Have your seat.
And now we'll do, Mr. Ted Savoy, since the last televised board meeting, Mr. Curtis Pierce resigned because he sold his home here and moved to Ruston. So we already have officially sworn in Mr. Savoy. This will be a ceremonial swearing in for the general public to witness. Thank you.
Raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Ted Savoy,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as a stated position
as a Commissioner of the Greater Lafourche Port Commission, CE,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations to our two new port commissioners. Next, we have approved the minutes from September 14, 2022, and September 26, 2022 meeting. I need a motion. Motion by Larry Griffin, second by Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have Executive Director's Report. Mr. Chasson.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I wanted to welcome the Mr. Savoy and Mr. Pete to the board, and looking so much forward to working with you all for the next several months. Thank you. All right, first is our northern expansion slip C and flotation canal bulkhead, Picciola and Associates.
Yeah, APC Construction is the contractor, and they completed driving all the steel sheet pile. They completed driving the concrete piles and pouring concrete dead men. They also put in the tie-back system, and they're currently welding on the components of the bulkhead together, and they should start painting sometime soon. They're on schedule to finish sometime late November, early December.
Okay. Any questions for Joe? Thank you, Joe. Northern expansion slip C and flotation canal, sweep dredging.
So this is the sweep dredging that gets the dredging material in front of this bulkhead, and the previous job that we did, we are requesting to advertise for bids on November the 2nd at 10 a.m.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Northern expansion slip D and Bayou Lafourche dredge project, GIS engineering.
This is the Crosby dredging project to fill the area north of the flotation canal. You can see in that picture, the project's complete. Later on the agenda, you have the acceptance of the clear lien certificate, so this should be the last time you hear me talk about it.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
John. Okay, moving on to airport projects, aircraft operations, Davy Bro.
Aircraft operations for last month, we had 1,771 operations. We had 10,438 passengers and 25,906 vehicles. This year.
All right, any questions for Dave on that? Okay, Airport Connector Road and Bridge, Picciola and Associates.
Sea Level Construction is a contractor. They've been working on drainage and asphalt work on LA 3235. They're also working on drainage on LA 1, moving from north to south. And they've also they've driven most of all the piles in Bayou Lafourche, and they're pouring the bents and the beams for the bridge right now. That's going to be an ongoing process.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Sealcoat and Pavement Markings Project, GIS Engineering.
Okay, this project was done by G Asphalt Systems in Iowa. The project is substantially complete. We're just waiting on a clear lien certificate.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you. Airport Terminal Surcharge Project,
We are currently advertising for that project. We had a mandatory pre-bid conference last week, got several contractors attending, and we are scheduled to take bids on October 25th.
All right. Any further questions on that?
Thank you.
Thank you, John. The approach obstruction removal. David.
Construction removal, the engineer on that project is Lafourche. LMB is the contractor. Actually, the contractor is complete, and later on the agenda will have a substantial completion. You guys approve, and that's clearing of trees on the north approach of the airport.
Any questions for David? All right, the South Lafourche Industrial Mobile Home Park. Joe.
Onshore Construction's the contractor, everything's complete, and the clear lien certificate has been presented, so we recommend that you approve the retainage request.
Okay.
Question, so all the documentation, fire marshal, all the outstanding, we are done with that project, ready to move on?
Completely done.
All right, that's good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hang on, Joe.
Wait, Joe, you're next. Okay, moving on to other projects, the Fourchon Pavilion.
So onshore is the contractor for this. He's been waiting for the plant in Fourchon to reopen. That's happened. So now we're trying to negotiate a change order with him to provide an additive for waterproofing of the concrete slab. We sent some information to him yesterday. He sent back some information, and we're waiting on an answer from him, basically, is where we're at today. So we'll let you know at the next meeting what he says.
Okay.
All right.
Any
Thank you, Joe.
questions? Thank you, Joe. Okay, the Port Security Elwyn System Project, we have been procuring the products that we need for that project, and that's moving along. Again, that's the Port Security Grant Program, and that's for communications in the entire South Lafourche area for all of different entities that we have: Sheriff's Office, Fire District, Golden Meadow Police, Harbor Police, and the like. Any questions on that? Okay, Corps of Engineers Maintenance Dredge Project in Bell Pass. That project is ongoing. Corps of Engineers they had some trouble with their dredge, but that has been completed, and that pipe that's going to be laid on the bottom of Bell Pass right around the intersection of Bayou Lafourche, that should take place tomorrow. Any additional, David?
Yes, as of last Thursday, they had 150,226 cubic yards dredged, so we still have about 3 weeks left to complete the dredging of that federal channel section.
Okay. And we did send out a message to our tenants this morning about what's going on with the pipe being put in later tomorrow. Any questions? All right, moving on to Hurricane Ida projects. Davey.
All right, in the Hurricane Ida, the small projects, we have 4 out of the 6 that are complete. Moving on to the larger projects, admin building, contractor actually is gonna start demoing in here after our meeting. He has all the rest of the building demolition done, so that's gonna continue, and we'll note out where we're gonna have our next meeting. The public boat launch continue to work on the handicap ramp as well as the stairs to get back to that facility. And also in Fourchon, we have our EOC operations and our warehouse. We had a pre-construction meeting yesterday with the contractor. He's ready to get started on there. He's gonna do the EOC first, move all the police in there. Then he's gonna start on the operations center and warehouse that's connected to utility wires. Next project, boat lift, front marina, stormwater marina, those projects, talked about the dock was a little bit, contracts have been signed, we report them, and we'll be scheduling a pre-construction meeting, with the contractor on that project. And the airport terminal repairs, that's the existing terminal, that was damaged, we're getting ready to, October the 20th at 1 PM, we're gonna have a big opening on that. So we can get it started.
Okay.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you, Davey, and that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right. We have any public comment?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Heather Hendricks, and I wanted to introduce myself to those of y'all that I haven't met. I know that I've met some of y'all. I am a candidate for judge for Division A of the Lafourche Parish 17th Judicial District. And I just wanted to come and present myself to y'all, give you a short background. I have been a prosecutor here in Lafourche Parish for 8.5 years. I've tried the worst of the worst. I have tried I have prosecuted over 1,000 defendants, tried over 50 jury trials. I have worked extensively with ATF, DEA, Homeland Security, the U.S. Marshal's Office, our AG's office, and the U.S. Attorney's Office in stopping child pornography, as well as the Mexican cartels bringing methamphetamine and fentanyl across our border. They tend to like US 90 because it is a pathway to New Orleans and to other cities. They view our parish as a central location to deal drugs to centers such as Baton Rouge and New Orleans. So I have been part of multi-parish jurisdictional work to stop that. Also, I'm an adjunct professor at Tulane School of Law for trial advocacy. That's where I graduated from law school. I have also prosecuted death penalty case, specifically the David Brown death penalty case that happened in Lockport. And I have extensive experience in the civil world as well, prosecuting violations of the Department of Environmental Quality violations, such as discharge into our waterways, which directly affect the port. I am a passionate advocate of the law. I'm a passionate advocate for justice, and my experience, I think you will find, puts me to where I can sit on that bench and get right to work with no, what you would say, having to get used to the position. I can get on that bench and start prosecuting and start hearing cases right away. I have held the hands of victims who never thought that they would be victims. And that passion for justice comes from being a teacher in the public school system for 11 years, working with students. So I have quite an extensive background. I didn't go to law school till I was 36, which was quite a pleasure to do that. And I would appreciate your consideration, and I thank y'all for giving me this opportunity to come before you.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good luck with your race.
Thank you.
All right, any other public comment? All right, moving on, we are going to executive committee. Members are Chucky Sherman, Chairman, Rodney Gisclair, Larry Griffin, and Jimmy Lafont. First, we have considered issuing a proclamation ordering a special election to fill vacancy in seat B, setting dates for primary and general election and qualifying periods for same. Mr. Chasson, would you please read it?
Yeah, so we don't necessarily have to read it, but I'll just say that this is basically saying that because of the vacancy of seat B, we need to have a special election. Qualifying periods will be January 25th, 2023 to January 27th, 2023. Special primary election will be March 25th, 2023, with a special general election, if necessary, April 29th, 2023. Recommendation to approve this proclamation.
All right, I have a motion. Moved by John Mellison, second by Mr. Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have consider approving lease request from Dynamic Environmental Service for site GLF 193.
Right, this site is currently on the lease that ends on December 31st with GIS, Grand Isle Shipyard, and Dynamic Environmental Services has actually been subleasing that from GIS or Grand Isle Shipyard for a while now, and they want to take over that lease.
All right, need a motion. Moved by Mr. Rodney Gisclair, second by Mr. Tom Pete. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have consider approving the lease extension request from Almost Heaven Holding for hangar site.
Okay, so this has been under lease with Almost Heaven Holdings for several years now, and they want to extend that lease for 5 more years.
All right, I need a motion. Moved by Mr. Ted Sawa, second by Mr. Larry Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion excuse me. Next, we have consider approving the bids for surplus sales.
All right, we had 37 items for surplus sale, all received high bids for a total of $75,790.74. Recommendation to approve all the high bids.
All right, I need a motion. Moved by Jim Lafont, second by Chris Khalid. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, consider updating resolution setting the improvement rent for rotorcraft leasing.
Okay, so this is a resolution that'll say that Rotorcraft's annual rent will be starting this month, next month, starting October, $21,216.58. That's what, yeah, their monthly rent for their lease.
We had approved all this a couple of months ago. This is the purchase of those improvements at their site and the lease back to them. However, it took a little bit longer to complete the improvements than we realized, so because we having to back this up a month and making it effective October 1st as opposed to September 1st, their improvement rate changes slightly. So in order to clear that up in that resolution, that's why we're asking y'all to approve this resolution.
And that would bring us up to date with all the improvements until they would conjugate a new project or what have you, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
All right, need a motion. Moved by Jim Lafont, second by Larry Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Now we're getting out of executive committee, going into permits and waterways committee. Members are Rodney Jusclair, chairman, Ted Savoy, Tom Pete, and Chucky Sherman. Mr. Jusclair, your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman. First, we're gonna have review permit from Harvest Midstream. Harvest Midstream proposes to abandon approximately 18.5 miles of their existing 14 and 18-inch diameter natural gas pipelines. It's Rackasee Lateral in Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes, Louisiana. Harvest proposes to remove above-ground service piping, risers, pilings, and sections of platforms from the separate structures. Harvest will also lower via jetting other segments of the pipelines that are exposed in areas outside of the state-owned water bottoms to ensure sufficient cover prior to abandonment. Total length of pipeline removal is approximately 9,027 feet. Total length of pipeline to be lowered 3 feet below the mud line is approximately 9,345 feet. And total length of pipeline to remain in place is approximately 79,702 feet. Next on the agenda, we have consider approving bids for vessel removal and pile cluster replacement.
Okay, I need a motion. Moved by Mr. Rodney Jusclair, second by Mr. Chris Khalid. Any discussion?
So just to make it clear, so we took bids for 2 vessels and a pile cluster replacement. One of the vessels was low bid of Tidewater Dock, and another vessel was low bid E&L Enterprises, and the pile cluster replacement was E&L Enterprises. We have spoken to Tidewater Dock. They wish to not do just the one vessel, and the next was E&L Enterprises. They have agreed to handle vessel number 1, as well as we have a second pile cluster that they will hold their same bid for and complete that just took place just recently. So with all that being said, your motion would be to approve E&L Enterprises to handle all of those issues.
I'll move on that, Mr. President.
All right. Any discussion?
Yeah, and that would, they are the combined total lowest bidder
Correct. That is
for all the projects.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make that clear.
All right. Any more discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Well, Mr. President, That concludes the Permit and Waterways Committee report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Just Claire. Next, we're going into Construction and Development Committee. Members are Chris Colley, Chairman, Mike Colley, Jimmy LaFond, and Chucky Sherman. Mr. Colley, you're up.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. First, we have consider accepting the clear lien certificate from Crosby Dredging for Slip D and Bayou Lafourche Dredge Project.
All right, so that project is complete, so recommendation to approve.
All right, we need a motion. Moved by Mr. Chris Colley, second by Mr. Rodney Just Claire. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next, consider approving the Airport Capital Improvement Plan and adopt resolution.
All right, so we discussed this on Monday evening. This is the 5-year capital improvement plan for all the work that we'd like to do at the airport. Recommendation to approve.
All right, need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Ted Salwa, second by Mr. Jimmy LaFond. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next, we have consider approving the substantial completion certificate from LMB Services for the approach obstruction removal.
There's recommendation to approve substantial completion effective September 14th, 2022.
All right, need a motion. Moved by Mr. Larry Griffin.
Second.
Second by Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next, we have consider approving the clear lien certificate from Onshore Materials for the South Lafourche Industrial Mobile Home Park.
This project is fully complete. Recommendation to approve.
All right, got a motion by Mr. John Meliso, second by Jimmy LaFond. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next, we have consider approving the substantial completion certificate from Tidewater Dock for the Ida Port Complex demolition.
All right, project is complete. Recommendation to approve.
All right, got a motion by Mr. Chris Colley, second by Larry Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Consider approving change order number 1 from Picciola Construction Company for the Ida Administration Building repair.
All right, this is a change order for $17,393.29 for some extra work that needs to take place on the roof.
Move.
Moved by Chris Colley, second by Ted Salwa. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. President, this concludes the Construction and Development Committee report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Colley. Next, we're going into Finance Committee. Members are John Ellison Jr., Chairman, Larry Griffin, Chris Colley, and Chucky Sherman.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. I'm gonna be a little bit, the port has done quite a few projects this past month, or completed quite a few. We'll consider approving payments of the September 2022 invoices and recognizing those over $25,000. We'll begin with line item 1, Rotorcraft Leasing Company, $1,271,842 even. That's for purchase improvements as discussed by Mr. Otan earlier. Item 2, Sea Level Construction Incorporated, $540,932.84, and that's for the Airport Connector Road and Bridge Project. Item 3, Crosby Dredging LLC, $529,362.16, and that's for the dredging of Slip D as discussed by Mr. Plaisance on the completion of that project. Item 4, APC Construction LLC, $429,514.51, and that's for the Northern Expansion Phase 3 Slip C Bulkhead Part 2. Item 5, Marsh USA Insurance Renewals, $403,296.68. Item 6, PCO and Associates, $230,682.32, and that's for flotation canal mooring dolphins, slip C sweep dredge, channel dredging, slip C 1,500 linear feet of bulkhead, and general engineering along with permits. Item 7, CSRS Disaster Recovery Management LLC, $207,927.50. And that's for disaster grant management consultant for Hurricane Ida. Item 8, GIS engineering, $146,857.48. And that's for Slip D Bulkhead, Hurricane Ida damage restoration, West Fourchon Marsh project, and general engineering. Item 9, Grand Isle Shipyard Incorporated, $146,343.26. And that's for the GAO contract labor, limestone for road maintenance and culvert work, and repairs to the bathhouse of the public boat launch in Fourchon. Item 10, Angelette Picciola LLC, $112,118.93. And that's for the Fourchon Beach Restoration, the Fourchon Bridge, the Flotation Canal mooring dolphins, along with LA1 Phase 2 Leeville Construction Canal dredging and mitigation. Item 11, Transform YX, $86,873.69, and that's for Cisco Network Equipment. Item 12, Picciola Construction, $66,785, and that's for the Hurricane Ida repairs to the administration building. Item 13, Offshore Materials LLC, $51,388.95. That's for the Industrial Mobile Home Park. Item 14, Ritter Mayer Architects LLC, $43,769.37. That's for Hurricane Ida repairs for our maintenance warehouse, EOCs, and Operations Center in Fourchon. Item 15, Tidewater Dock Incorporated, $28,800. That's for the demolition of the Port Complex building next door. Item 16, American Integration Contractors LLC, $27,485.06. And Mr. President, these expenditures, along with our others, bring us to a grand total of $6,281,206.45. And Mr. Griffin, if I didn't make any mistakes, I'd like to make a motion we accept these expenditures.
You did good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I got a motion by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next, as discussed in Monday night committee meetings, I'd like to make a motion we accept the September 2022 unaudited financial statements. I'd like to make a motion we accept these.
I got a motion by Mr. John Mellison, second by Mr. Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
And last, we have out-of-state travel and training. We have Director of Grants and Communications, Thad Angelos, attending the AAPA Annual Convention in Florida, October 17th through the 20th. We also have Director Angelos, along with Deputy Port Director Davey Brew, attending the Deepwater Operations Topsides Platforms and Hull Conference in Texas, November 7th through the 10th. We have Commissioner Ted Savoy attending Louisiana Live event and Louisiana Live and events for Washington meetings in Washington, D.C., January 24th through the 27th. And last, we have Director Chasson and Port Commissioners to be determined to attend the AAPA Commissioners Seminar in Corpus Christi, Texas, December 5th through the 8th. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion we accept these out-of-state travel and training requests.
All right, I got a motion from Mr. Mellison, second from Mr. Ted Savoy. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. President, this concludes the Finance Committee report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mellison. Any other business? Any public comment?
Mr. President, Mr. Curtis Pierce, as we know, resigned since our last board meeting, and he never had the opportunity to make a statement to the public that voted for him, and he sent me a written statement that he asked that I read, if I may do so.
I wish you would.
Okay. All right, so he says, "To the Director of the Port Fourchon and its staff, fellow commissioners of the port, and the citizens of the 10th Ward, I sat before you on August 14th, 2019 during a televised meeting and advised the Board of Commissioners of Port Fourchon that I would be getting married and thus would have two residences, one in Galliano and a new one in Ruston, that I would share with my wife, Eva. Subsequent to that time, I have fulfilled the duties of my role as Port Commissioner CE. I have served willingly and happily. In a new turn of events, I have sold my residence in Galliano, prior to which I did the right and legal thing by tendering my resignation to the Secretary of State and to the Board of Commissioners of Port Fourchon. This was a bittersweet moment, since serving and representing my constituents has been an honor and a privilege from which I have gained many valuable friends and experiences. I want to first thank our awesome board director and his staff for all they have done. I'm telling you, he wrote this. I'm not just saying it. I want to first thank our awesome board director and his staff for all they have done for me and the other commissioners throughout the past 5 years. Their support has been incredible. I want to thank the citizens of the 10th Ward for electing me to this seat, thus showing your trust in me and allowing me to serve you to the best of my ability. I thank also the other public officials I've met along my way for the respect and cooperation I enjoyed in fulfilling my duties. Lastly, I'd like to express my gratitude to my fellow commissioners who supported me through the good times and tough times. It has been my privilege to serve with each one of you. We have become brothers in a sense, and my position as commissioner has been easier because of you. Our brotherhood is why our Port Fourchon has become such a vital and successful entity and will continue to be so. Some of you have extended yourselves and have become like family, and I will continue to keep in touch though our work together is done. I will always be proud to say that I once served on the most successful board in our parish. To all, thank you for allowing me to serve you, and I wish only the best God can provide for you and the Greater Lafourche Port Commission. Your friend and your brother in Christ always, Curtis J. Pierce.
All right. Well,
That was a very nice letter.
very nice, and I wish the best to Mr. Curtis Pierce and his wife, and for him to move on into their new venture. So, I'm very glad. Okay, any other business?
I move that we adjourn, Mr. President.
We've got public comment.
Public comment.
Any public comment? Tom, you want to say something?
It's an honor serving on the board with y'all. Appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you too.
Accepting the nomination.
And Ted.
And may I also say that you're filling one of your good friends'
This is
seat.
my big brother's seat.
Yeah, big brother, yeah,
There
Barry.
you go.
Yes.
Yep, that it is.
And Ted, thank you for coming on board too, sir.
Appreciate it.
Second time.
Take it, yeah. All right, Mr. Lafourche.
I move that we adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Jimmy Lafourche, second by Mr. Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. I'd like to say, welcome, Mr. Petrie, Mr. Salva to the board. I know y'all gonna do good. Y'all been, Mr. Salva's been lifelong friends with the family, just like Mr. Tom. Mr. Petrie and I grew up together, so be glad working with y'all.
Thank you very much.
And look, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but for all cancer people, please say a prayer for them. I know it hit my family. It hit a lot of people in this area, so please say prayers for them. And thank y'all everyone for attending. This has been a large crowd since we had Mr. Tom brought us. So thank y'all very much. Meeting's adjourned.